And it is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. As you can see, the sun is just going over the horizon, and you can see we have this big hurricane. It's not a major hurricane anymore, but it's going to cause some uh, surges to go over here up to 4 feet, so buckle up for that. But other than that, it's expected to just go out to sea and then just be a fish storm. So just be prepared if you're in this area here, the coast, east coast right here. But other than that, it doesn't look that concerning. But we do have a very interesting pattern, and we could see a major cool down, and that's going to be some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. We do have a little severe weather and a little flooding. I didn't put out a video on Tuesday. I wasn't able to. This one on Wednesday is just a replacement for Tuesday because there's some weather to talk about today. First, I'm going to talk about long-term weather and severe weather and stuff. So basically right now we're seeing some temperatures, highs in the 90s on average, so a little lower, sometimes like 88 or in this area, general area. And we could see, we probably will see a major cool down as we go farther into this month. You can see it's already taking place on Friday, August 22nd. We are already seeing lows at 64. That is it's a little below average, but it's not a ton below average. We start getting a lot more below average as we go farther. Now you can see cooler temperatures trying to work their way in, and then that this is on the 25th, and then if we go a little farther, then you can see the temperatures really start working their way in, and you can see like anywhere in this area is going to see pretty cool temperatures. And that's like in our area we have a low of like 52, so that's pretty crazy. And this is on the 26th, and then if we go a little farther, you can see like we have one day kind of like with the short high of 61 or 58. So yeah, we're going to have a cool, like this is on the 26th that we see like this little area of just cool air, and that's gonna cause some really cool temperatures here. And so we're gonna have a very cool month for the rest of the month. And if we go farther, it continues, and then the hot air starts working its way, and you can see that the cold air is here, and the hot air is starting to push the cold air off to the east. And then as we go farther, we're going to still see some lower lows. After that, I think we're going to still see some lows around 60 or 58, but it's not as bad as we were seeing. And then we're just going to kind of stay into like a pattern where we see temperatures that high. And then if we go farther, this is on September 4th, we're seeing some hotter temperatures. We could have another heat wave, but it's probably going to be very short and limited. So yeah, it's crazy. But then I wonder what will happen next, because there's some more cold air over here, and that might push in. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of severe weather or tropical activity afterwards. I still think there is a chance that we do see a hurricane hit the coast in this area, but it's looking less likely, thankfully. But I still think there is a small chance, so you're not over with the chance to have a hurricane hit. But so far we haven't, and there's a good chance that it'll stay that way. And so far we aren't seeing a lot of severe weather in either, but I think sometime this fall we are going to have an outbreak of severe weather somewhere in the U.S. So be prepared, and I'll keep giving you updates on that. We do have a small severe weather risk today. I'm going to talk about that too. This one's driven by tornadoes and damaging winds, but we don't have that big of a tornado threat. But still, I'd watch out for a tornado or two in this area. Then we have a marginal risk down here. That is driven by damaging winds and some large hail. And then tomorrow we have another marginal risk up here, and that is driven by damaging winds and large hail. So watch out for some damaging winds, large hail there, but it's not that concerning. But still, we could see some damage reports and stuff like that. And then on Friday, we have another marginal risk. It's probably driven by damaging winds and large hail. We could see small tornado threat with it too, but right now it's too early to tell. But still, things like this, all it takes is a marginal risk to have a wind damage that causes the power to go out, or even worse. So you still need to watch out if you're in a marginal risk. Another thing I forgot to talk about on the cold snap is that even the National Weather Service is showing way below average temperatures, and you can see the heat over here that is trying to work its way. So we might see a battleground of severe weather right in this area here. So yeah, we still might see some small severe weather and maybe even some periods of significant severe weather, but it's not like widespread significant severe weather or anything like that. And the below average, you can see here, it's 80 to 90% below average, most likely. Yeah, so we actually have a very substantial cold front, and it's gonna keep pushing in. So the rest of August is gonna be pretty cold. Enjoy the heat while it lasts. And then we have flooding too to talk about. A marginal risk here, and just watch out for some flooding. This is today, and then tomorrow on Thursday you can see we have another marginal risk, and I would watch out for some flooding too. Nothing's looking that significant, but still it's looking concerning. And then on Friday you can see more flooding, and then on Saturday you can see we have more flooding, and then on Sunday we have more flooding. So we're going to see a steady flow of some flooding, and it only takes one flood to damage your home. So if you have a flood warning, take it just as serious if you had a big flood risk. And that is all the weather talk I have for you today. Please subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on. That way you don't miss out on any new videos. And I hope to see you on Friday. This is a very interesting pattern, so stick with me. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.